Hello, and welcome to Guiding Your Buyers to Their Dream Home. Before we get started, we appreciate you being here. This program is optional and discusses best practices for your consideration. If you are thinking of adopting any of them, please make sure to review the requirements in your area with your broker or branch manager, including those related to contacting consumers. We do want to highlight the importance of the Telephone Consumer Protection Act, better known as the TCPA. The general rules are that it is okay to call people if the person recently gave you their phone number, but remember to check the DNC lists regularly if you haven't spoken to that person in a while. You will also want to check the DNC list anytime you don't have permission. Automated calling or texting platforms should never be used, and pre-recorded messages and artificial voices should never be used. You will be personally liable for any violations of the TCPA. We do have a do not contact system located on mycbdesk.com where you can type in a phone number or email address to be checked through the system. MoxiPresent is the robust real estate comparative market analysis tool that enables affiliated agents to seamlessly guide their clients through the home buying or selling journey. This easy-to-use presentation builder can be used to create CMAs, open house presentations, listing presentations, neighborhood buyer tools, and relocation presentations. Today, we will demonstrate how to create a buyer guide. We will present how to utilize the buyer tour presentation, how to add and organize presentation pages, and demonstrate how to share the presentation in both print and digital forms. To access the Moxy Works suite of tools, which is where you'll find MoxiPresent, you'll need to start by logging into mycbdesk.com using your CB email and credentials. One important thing to note is that the information in your desk profile feeds to your Moxy Works profile. So you want to make sure that all of the information in your desk profile is updated. It will appear in your presentation as well as your Moxy website. So if you need to edit any of that, you'll go ahead and access that in my profile within the CB desk. Now to access MoxiPresent, you will go to the Moxy Works tile on Desk. Once you click on the Moxy Works tile, you will then click on Present in the top left corner to access your Moxy presentations. In this dashboard, you will see all of the presentations that have been created in your MoxiPresent account. The sort order will default to recently updated, but in the top right, you're able to change that sort order so that you can sort them by date created or by the title. You can also sort or filter the presentations by clicking the drop down that says All. In the top right-hand corner, you'll find the presentation settings. You can change global settings for your presentation here. Under branding, you can control what logos, headers, footers are used. The Coldwell Banker Global Luxury branding can be used when the subject property meets the luxury requirements. We recommend leaving the branding as our blue North Star branding unless you're an agent who does most business in the luxury space. Within additional logos, you can choose whether to display your personal logo on your presentation. PDF headers and footers control what the tops and bottoms of the presentation look like when they're viewed as a PDF. Whenever you make an edit, make sure to click the blue Save button in the top right corner. Sharing lets you control when presentations are automatically sent to clients. We recommend not adjusting these settings. And finally, data display lets you choose default square footage settings, including price per square foot. You can choose between total square feet, total finished square feet, and above grade finished square feet. Click Save after you have made your changes. And to get back to your presentation, you will click on Present from the top menu bar. Each tile represents a presentation that you have already created. If you click on the presentation tile, it will open the presentation in the web view. If you click the pencil symbol in the top right of each presentation tile, it will allow you to edit that specific presentation. And the clock symbol tells you when the presentation was created, last updated, and who updated it. One person icon shows contacts who you have sent the presentation to, and the two-person icon denotes a co-presenter. The three dots right here allows you to view as a web or print presentation, share to one or all of the agents in your office, email the presentation, and the settings allows you to edit the name and whether it displays header photos. You may also duplicate this presentation, delete this presentation, archive this presentation, which will move it to the archived section on the dashboard. You could also do the quick flyer, property flyer to be used for open house, door knocking, and assign an agent. This will move the presentation from your account to a selected agent's account in the event of a co-lister or if you're adding a co-presenter. Creating a buyer presentation is going to be very similar to creating a listing presentation. The buyer presentation may also be called the home buyer guide, which provides information on the home buying process. There are a few templates, including the full buyer presentation, the full Spanish buyer presentation, and a shorter version, the 12-minute presentation. From this dashboard, you'll click on Create New in the top right-hand corner, and we'll select Buyer and then Continue. Now you will see which template you would like to use. You will click the drop-down that says Brokerage Templates from this screen, and you want to select the Coldwell Banker Parent Company Templates. Now you will see there are many different options in here. As noted, we have the 12-minute buyer, we have a Spanish version as well, and we have the full buyer CB Realty presentation. For today's demonstration, we're going to do the 12-minute buyer. So I'm going to select that presentation and click Continue. Next, we're going to name the presentation. You could always choose to name this a client name, or you could simply say buyer guide. I'm going to go ahead and select buyer guide. Listing source, which you'll notice is right below the presentation name. This should be your default or your primary MLS. If you do not see your MLS, you'll need to contact your office staff in order to help correct this. So that the MLS data will feed into MoxiPresent. Finally, we're going to click Create. It may take a moment for your presentation to be created. Here we are. Since this is not a listing presentation, rather a buyer guide, there are no listing report pages. We're going to skip subject property, search, listings, and estimate, and we'll navigate right to pages 13 at the top. Now we have the option to edit existing pages or add additional pages. To move pages around, you'll simply click, hold, and drag and drop. For example, if I wanted to move full service support, I'm going to click, hold, drag, and drop to where I'd like it in the presentation. You do have the ability to remove any of the pages simply by clicking the X to the right of the page title. Don't worry, if you delete a page by accident, you'll be able to go in and add it back. More on this topic later. Moxy has a library where they store all of the pages for every presentation available in MoxiPresent. If you ever remove a page and then decide you'd like to add it back, or you want to explore other pages available to add, you can do so by clicking Add Page and Add from Library. Remember that any added pages will go right below the last page that you selected on the list of pages. You will have the option to choose from your library of pages that you've created or uploaded, as well as Coldwell Banker library of pages from, again, all of the presentations. You can access the page library at any time by clicking on Presentation in the top left and then selecting Page Library. Affiliated agents are also able to add a cover page to their presentation. It looks great in print as well as the digital versions. Click Add next to the cover page, and it will be added to your presentation. The cover page has a pencil that allows you to edit the features, including a cover title and even changing the template of the cover page. If you are looking to add additional pages to your presentation, you can access report pages. Again, my pages will be any pages that you have uploaded or created, or you can access the Coldwell Banker parent company pages to explore all pages that are within all of the presentations. If you are looking for additional buyer pages, for example, for your buyer guide, you'll click on either Buyer 28 or Buyer 12-minute presentation to explore the additional pages that could be added. Again, if you do decide you'd like to add a page, you'll simply click the Add button and it will be added to your presentation. If you'd like to upload your own pages, for example, a PDF, you have the ability to do so in MoxiPresent. You'll click on Add Page in the top left corner. Rather than click on Add from Library, you're going to select Create New. You will then have the option to either build your own page or you can add a PDF. The page upload limit is 20 pages, so please note anything larger than 20 pages will not upload. Once you select the PDF from your computer, you'll simply click Upload and the page will be included in your presentation. To save a personal template, from the Pages tab, you will click Save as Template in the bottom left corner. You will need to scroll all the way down to the very last page of the presentation and select Save as Template. Then you will name the presentation, select Buyer, and click Save. You will now be able to select your personal template when creating a presentation from the dashboard when you go to make your next presentation. You can view all the available templates on this tab by clicking Presentation at the top left and then selecting Templates. You can view all of your personal templates and all of the templates that are provided by the company. You can choose to change out the template by selecting the one you want and then clicking Apply in the top right corner. Once you have finished your buyer presentation, you can view the presentation in the web, or you can opt for a print view. This will allow you to see what your client receives before you share it. In the top right-hand corner, you'll click on View Web. so that you can view it in the web format. If you are choosing to print, please allow a few moments for the PDF to download. Again, you'll select View. You'll notice you have two print options, portrait or landscape. And again, it will take just a moment for the PDF to generate. It is generally a large file depending on how many pages you've added to your presentation. It is not advisable to email it as an attachment. Instead, if you send the presentation through the system, it will also send a link to the downloadable PDF for the client. From this PDF, this is where you could save to your computer or print it. When you are viewing your presentation in the web view, it has a live URL at the top. You could share this on your social media. You likely wouldn't share a CMA, but you could create a presentation about what you would offer a seller and share that on Facebook or LinkedIn. View web, you can copy the URL at the top and paste it into your social media platforms in order to accomplish that. Once you have your presentation prepared, you can print it and bring it with you to a buyer consultation, or you could send it via email as a digital presentation. If you are looking to send this buyer guide, for example, to a client, you will click Send in the top right corner, and you can select the presentation format. Again, you are able to send a PDF option for the client to download and view or print on their end. You will then want to type in the email of the client you are sending the presentation to. It will auto-populate and you will click on the email address. But be sure to fill out the subject line and other information. You can also send a copy of the presentation to yourself if you'd like. You can send the web presentation via text message by the following steps. Email the presentation to yourself, open the presentation in your cell phone, click the share button. It's an icon that looks like a box with an arrow, and select text message and the contact you want to send the presentation to. You can also attach the presentation to a contact card in Moxy Engage. You will go to the subject property page and find the contacts field. Start typing in a contact's name and then click the appropriate contact. This will not send the presentation to the contact, but it will make it so that the presentation shows up in the contact card in Moxy Engage. The contact information will automatically fill in when clicking the send button in the top right corner. Next, we are going to create a buyer tour presentation. It is very similar to the listing presentation. Instead of adding comparable properties, we will select properties that our buyer may be interested in. From the main dashboard in MoxiPresent, you will click on Create New in the top right-hand corner. This time, rather than selecting Buyer, we will select Buyer Tour and then Continue. The buyer tour features listings to show the buyer. It can be sent digitally before showing homes. It will map the buyer to each property and allows them to review the property details, photos, as well as rate and review each property prior to the showings. Once again, we will click on Brokerage Templates and select Coldwell Banker Parent Company Templates. We will then select Default Buyer Tour and Continue. Next, we will name this presentation. Again, you may name this your client's name, buyer tour. You can just call it buyer tour. And again, you want to ensure that the listing source does have your primary MLS listed. Finally, you'll click Create. Again, it does take a moment for your presentation to be created. First, you may connect a Moxy Engage contact to the buyer tour if you would like, using this contact section here. You may also add a starting address for the INRX IX drive time, which is optional. Adding an address here will display the drive time information from that address to each property. Your client can measure commuting time to work, school, or a family member. This is a great tool if drive time or commute time is a priority. Add a photo for the cover page on the right-hand side by selecting Browse here if you'd like to upload a photo. Next, we can select properties that fit our buyer criteria. Just like we would add comps to a listing presentation, we can search for properties using the MLS number. You'll notice you can either put in city, address, neighborhood, or zip code, or you have the option to select the MLS number and put it in here. You'll then click the search icon to the right, and you'll simply click the plus sign here to add it to the listings. You do have the option to include additional filters to narrow down your properties. You could do a map draw search, the map search on the right-hand side. The default is to show all the listings that fit within the map. You can do a quick draw, which will create basic shapes. You could do the multi-draw, which is creating a unique polygon, or you could do the radius search. The triangle or geolocation shape is going to be bottom right corner above the plus sign. And then you could use additional filters, again, to narrow down your property search. You could use filters such as price, beds and baths, listing status, property types, property info, additional features, building style, so on and so forth. I'm just going to use the 3 properties that I included and add a few of these others using the search feature. Once we've added all of our properties, we're going to go ahead and select listings at the top. Next, we will have the ability to review the properties we've added, again, using the MLS ID or using the map draw feature. Now you'll be able to review the properties and arrange the showing order and route from property to property. On the right-hand side, you'll see a map with a suggested route for viewing each of the select listings. You can change the route by changing the order of the listings on the left. Click Change Order near the top of the property, and here's where you can drag and drop to move your properties. You'll then click Save Order once finished. You do have the option to add remarks or notes to each property if desired. Adding a meeting time if you already have showings scheduled, you will get a red warning if the meeting times do not follow the showing order of properties. You are able to add a custom listing or a non-MLS listing, for example, a for sale by owner, a pocket listing, a listing from another MLS. You will click on Add Custom Listing in the top right corner, and you will fill out the information. Once you have everything the way you'd like, you'll click Continue and then click Continue in the bottom right corner. The final step is to customize the pages of the tour, just like you would a listing presentation or buyer presentation. These pages are all reports with the property details and comparisons. You can edit the existing pages simply by clicking, holding, and dragging and dropping the pages. You are able to remove any pages, again, by clicking the X to the right of the page title. Some of the pages have a pencil icon, which lets you edit the page features. Under Listing Overview, you're able to limit the number of photos that display for each listing. This is a great feature if you are intending to print this presentation. So you can limit how many images are printed for each comp. For side-by-side comparisons, You can customize what features are compared. You can choose to remove any that you find to be unnecessary. Under status comparisons, you can choose what features, again, you want to compare on each listing. And under listing averages, you can choose what features you want to compare. Price and days on market, you can customize what is displayed, again, using that pencil icon. For price and size, you can customize, again, what is displayed. And for the pricing analysis as well, you're just going to want to click on the pencil icon. If you'd like to add pages from the library, once again, you'll click on Add Page and Add from Library. MoxiWorks has a library where they store all of the pages for every presentation. If you ever remove a page and decide you want it back, again, you can access all of the pages in this library under Coddle Banker Parent Company Pages. Once you find a page you'd like to add, you'll simply click the plus sign and add, and it will be added to your presentation. It is important, again, to note, anytime you add a page, it will go right below the last page that was selected on the list of pages. So if you want it in a specific spot before adding the page, you need to click on the page above where you want it placed. If you miss this step, no worries, you can drag and drop the page where you would like it. Affiliated agents are also able to add a cover page to their presentation. It looks great in print as well as the digital versions of the presentation. Again, you will click Add next to the cover page and it will be added to the presentation. It looks like it's already added. I'm going to drag and drop my cover page to the very top of the presentation. And if I need to make any edits to the cover page, I'm going to click the pencil icon so I can edit the features, including the cover title, and even change the template of the cover page. Just like the buyer guide, you are able to upload your own pages. To upload your own pages, you'll click Add Page. Rather than select Add from Library, you will click Create New. Here's where you have the option to build your own page, or you may upload PDF pages from your computer. You'll choose the file from your computer and then select Upload. Again, it is important to note the page upload limit is 20. This page will be added to your presentation and to your page library under My Pages for future use. Next, if you'd like to save this presentation as a template, you have the ability to do so, and the Save as Template button again is at the bottom left corner, so you'll need to scroll to the very bottom of your presentation and Save as Template. Here's where you could name the presentation. You'd want to select Buyer Tour for this specific presentation. And then finally, you will click Save in the bottom right-hand corner. It's a little bit hidden by that chat feature. Then you'll be able to access this template when creating a new presentation. Once we finish the presentation, we can view the presentation in the web version or we can view the print version. In the top right-hand corner, we'll click on View and then Web to see what it would look like in digital format. And if we'd like to print this for a client, rather than select Web, we're going to select PDF Print Portrait or PDF Print Landscape. Again, keep in mind, it does take a few moments for the PDF to generate. Once generated, you can download to your computer or you can feel free to print from there. If you'd like to send the presentation to the client, you can click the send icon in the top right-hand corner and you can select the formats you'd like to send to the client. You can opt to send the presentation as well as a print version for them to download. And then you'll go ahead and type in the email for the person you are sending the presentation to. And it will populate and you'll have to click on the email address. Don't forget to add a subject line and a message if you would like. You can also send the presentation to yourself. You also have the ability to attach the presentation to a contact card in Moxy Engage. In order to do that, we would go to the subject property page and find the contacts field, and we would start typing in the contact's name and then click appropriate contact. This will not send the presentation to that client. However, it will make it so that the presentation shows up in the contact card in Moxy. The contact information will automatically fill in when clicking the send button at the top right corner. You can always click on the home button in the top left corner or present logo in the top left corner to get taken back to the main dashboard of MoxiPresent. I wanted to remind you of our next available appointment service where you can book a 20-minute solution-oriented virtual appointment with one of our marketing specialists in as little as 2 business hours. You can book these appointments for support on our core marketing tools at nextavailable.com.